Episode 17. The one where these people need to stop giving us sass.
I mean, granted, we were giving the sass right back.
Somebody was feeling sassy.
Acting like just because I'm the only healer, I don't have this.
Acting like we need magic to be good at stuff.
Nethys.
So, welcome back, Pathfinders, to episode, was 16?
17.
17? I don't remember. Episode 17 of the Find the Path podcast. Yes, when last we left our heroes, they had finished, finally, the House of Pantheru.
Yay.
Hey, we did that all in one day.
Triumphant. It is true. It's one of those funny things that this is episode we just said 17 of the podcast. So we've been doing this for
a couple of
months now, but it's been like 4 days for the characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's it's that old joke of I'm going to translate this to Pathfinder where a 5-hour walk takes 3 minutes and a 3-minute fight takes 5 hours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So when last we left off, our heroes had left the House of Pantheru. I mentioned it off air, but I'll go ahead and throw this out here that I did need to give you your story award.
Yay.
Because you guys did get some experience
Story XP.
for successfully exploring the House of Pantheru, garnering experience for defeating a challenge rating of 4, netting the party 300 XP.
Yay, experience.
A little quest completion XP there. Everyone loves that.
And then we ran into these jerks.
Yes, and then on your way back, you'd found the blood splatter remnants of what was obviously a vicious fight here in this alleyway, and had found the members of the Scorched Hand, another one of the groups exploring the dead city of Wati.
Hat lady.
Valeriana Hypaxis, who you spoke with during, I think it was the episode, the one with all the bar gossip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that episode
I don't remember what
6,
episode
7?
that was.
5?
No, but she's looking for that specific site, and we kind of get the feeling that that they're out here not doing what they're supposed to be doing, looking for that site.
Yeah. Although you actually first saw her in episode 1.
Yes, we did.
She was
Yeah,
standing in the
because she
line
was
up there with
pitching a
Sudi.
fit because they wouldn't just tell her to go to that site.
Yep.
Which, in knowing
She's like a really angry woman in line at Starbucks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she is
basically.
the can I speak to your manager lady.
Does she have a bob haircut,
Yeah,
too?
does she?
No, actually.
She does now.
You can't tell under the hat.
Yeah.
But
She definitely does.
She's that lady that Starbucks orders 7,000 miles long and they do one thing wrong and it's time to burn the place down. That's her.
I just asked for one thing. You just had to do one thing.
Yes.
one job.
With 17 steps.
Yeah, I was like with 27 steps.
During the confrontation, you'd had the chance to speak with what appeared to have been the priest of the group, a man by the name of Kelru. Peace, friends, peace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who keeps calling us friends? We're
He
not
threw
your
some
friends.
shade and Onuris sassed him back.
Not your friend.
Actually, complimented on Eurus and threw shade at the rest of the group. It's like, oh, I'm sorry that you only have one spellcaster in your party.
And then
Frickin'
insinuated
Nethys.
that I couldn't handle it. And I'm like, excuse me.
So Sitra insulted his little pet.
Sometimes all you need is
Yes.
sword, bro.
And you spoke to his as, well, more like he spoke to you while threatening you with a wand.
Or like, kid, we could easily kill you. Please stop.
And then skeletons.
Happy
and then the
skeletons.
fourth member of their group, who I
She's
don't think
cool.
you've gotten a name for yet, dropped dramatically down from the rooftop.
No, I think
no,
the
he
guy
got a
named
first
her.
name.
I think he said that
Adori.
she works on her
Yeah.
own, better on her
Yeah.
own, but said her name.
She's cool. She's fine. We don't have any grief with her.
Until she starts sassing.
She's not sassy. She's just like
They're all
professional.
She's
Yeah.
a
Sukira looks over, it's like, I approve of your Kopesh.
I approve of
Also,
professionals.
Chakram.
I did say when I saw that. Yes. Chakram.
I should look
But
at
I have
it.
a bow, and I like my bow a lot.
Jeez, it's a D8 thrown weapon, though. It is a vicious weapon.
Wow.
Is that what Xena uses?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also
Desna. Is it Desna's favorite? No, I'm
No,
thinking,
Desna's a Sarnak.
I'm thinking Shar from the Forgotten Realms.
Shar in the Forgotten Realms, it is her favorite
Yes.
weapon. But we aren't playing in the Forgotten Realms.
I
We're
know,
in Golarion.
but sometimes my wires get a little crossed because I've been playing this game for so long.
because you're
Anyway,
a robot and somebody threw water on you.
But regardless, as you guys had been confronting them,
Skellies.
Yeah.
I think we decided the half dozen was the scary word. So the half dozen skeletons appear, making their way out from the shadows of the building and beginning to draw on all of you. The skeletons do not get a surprise attack round, as Adori dropped in, gave all of you a little heads up, and then they closed. Actually, I think only one of you made the perception checks to notice their approach. Skeletons, having no flesh, shockingly quiet.
alrighty, let's get this party started.
You would think the opposite.
Rock and roll.
Bone against stone.
But it's
should
not
make
stone,
more
I think
noise.
it's
It's sand.
Oh.
You would think the rickety,
Put a
like,
little
bone
siren
Onuris
escape there.
is real ready.
I'm like,
Wow.
Oh, we're my favorite
Sudi
spell.
also ready.
Oh,
I'm ready.
not too bad either.
All right. So, I'm going to have to bounce so many frickin' initiatives. My initiative tracker is full. Sagira.
15.
15 for Sagira. Sudi.
Sudi has a 20.
Nice. Citra.
Citra gets a 19.
19, also nice. Onuris.
It's a 21.
Man, go team.
21. You guys are clumped up there pretty high.
Well, we've been ready to fight for a minute.
That's fair. That's fair.
So let's see where everyone else comes in. Azaz.
We're not going to make the first move, but they're ready. We're ready if they...
We don't start the fights, but we sure as heck finish them.
Dory. Golarion. Valeriana.
I like how with their character art, everybody except for Valeriana actually looks kind of Osiriani dressed, and she's like in her like coats and pantaloons with her hats.
Well, as described, Azaz is full-blooded Osirian.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that she's like the only one not with it.
Well, she's not from here.
Yeah. Kilru is also Grundi and
Dory, you said it's a half elf?
half-elf, but she seems to be also Grundi. So combat breaks out. There's no surprise attack round. Dory has first initiative. She hefts her chakram and readies.
Oh, she needs that within 30 feet or something. She seems
Probably.
ready.
That brings us to the skeletons.
Wow.
Oh, no, skellies.
Really high
They're fast skellies.
That's
Figure doesn't say any of these things.
It's gonna be a problem. Oh, yep, that's definitely gonna be a problem.
Actually, if they come to me, that means I can two-weapon fight without moving. That'd be pretty cute.
You've got bludgeoning weapons, Sudi. Don't be like, oh, they're near me.
But
Yeah, I just have to You also have to be near them in order to hit them.
I know, but
So skeletons close on one side, which triggers Dory's readied action as she would spin and hurl. Her chakram flying, soaring between in front of Sagira and behind Citra, striking the skeleton.
The one that was approaching at Sudi?
Yeah, slamming the skeleton for 6 points of damage, although it is slicing.
Skira takes a moment to look this lady over. She's pretty cute.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
Ish. I mean, it's an open thing.
I mean, Onuris doesn't know that, but that's me.
Oh.
Reflecting on your other comments.
But yeah, slams into the skeleton. It stumbles as part of its ribcage collapses, although it continues to bear forward, opening its mouth in a wordless hiss as the sand blows past it.
I'm assuming
She would just
her
kind of
chakram isn't
sneer.
returning.
No, it slams into it and then falls to the ground.
Oh, sad. It's not like Xena's.
It is not a returning chakram.
Yeah, that's what... I had a character with that once.
You know, let's be honest, Xena's chakra was probably made out of vibranium because there's no way it should have bounced like that.
She was trained in Wakanda.
I was going to say the massive map has made Rick take off his headphones.
Quick, everybody
to go to
rebel.
In between Heather and Rachel in order to close the skeletons.
Why are you narrating this?
Skeletons
Because they
from
can't
the
see.
other side of the alleyway charge.
Yeah, they're definitely getting all up in.
Valeria, is that her name?
Viviana?
Hat ladies.
Not Viviana.
Sagira feels a burst of happiness
Valeriana.
watching them attack Valeriana.
Valeriana gets
Get her.
charged right up in her business.
So two of the skeletons come rushing down the corridor at Valeriana, both of them attacking.
She kind of deserves it.
Let's find out if this cleric's good or not. Maybe if he channels, we'll know he's a good guy.
Yeah, because Nethys you can be evil.
Mm-hmm.
One of the skeletons misses, the other one strikes Valeriana as she recoils back from the hit.
Poor girl.
I'm going to try to feel some sincerity out of that, but I don't know if it's going to happen.
Sagira likes one person in this party, and that's that kind of hot half-elf. That's the only one. She threw her chakra real good.
Onuris, glancing about, yeah.
Skeletons.
Actually, you can make a heal check if you so wish.
Make a heal check. I get a 23 on my heal check.
You're not positive about the truthfulness of their statement. I mean, you're pretty sure that they're being evasive pertaining towards what they were doing before they came here. They do look like they've gone through battles today, though, because they are also injured, much like yourselves.
Okay. They could be injured by stuff wandering the streets while they're looking for that eye.
It's because they're not where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, there's bad stuff. I mean, whatever.
All right. Onuris will turn and move towards the skeleton that was coming up behind him.
Very well.
And
Returning close.
I will swing my Kopesh with a 17.
A 17 will strike your target.
Onuris does 9 points of damage.
The skeleton shudders with the hit, but still stands.
And then he will bring his shield up.
From Onuris, we go to Sudi.
There's one right there.
There's a skeleton.
There is a skeleton
on top
right
of
next
you.
to me. I'm going to take a 5-foot step slinking around the edge of the building so that he doesn't get a cover bonus. And then I'm going to flurry of blows him.
Very well.
Yeah. The one is a 16.
A 16 will strike the skeleton.
Okay, strike him for 6.
6 points of damage as the skeleton explodes under your fist.
Oh, okay.
Bludgeoning.
Well, yeah. Okay. I guess Sudi prepares the 1-2 and like hits him with the jab, and the jab just like punches right through his spine. He just like looks at his hand like, huh.
From Sudi, we go to Sitra.
Sitra is going to run forward and do like a kick off the wall to give her some speed and get to the other side of the skeleton in front of Onuris.
Okay.
Do I need to roll acrobatics for that?
Flippy floppy.
Or can I move her around well enough?
Let's see.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to.
Yes, you would have to roll acrobatics. You'd have to take the penalty for moving your full speed.
Minus 5.
It's 10.
Oh, is it minus 10?
Yeah. The acrobatics training reduces it to minus 5.
Oh, right.
We're used to
Okay.
playing higher level.
I was going to say.
14 with the minus 10.
The 14 just made it as you go sliding past the skeleton.
Okay.
None of these skeletons are bearing any weapons or clothing or anything along those lines. They're literally just swinging at you with the bony remnants of their clawed hands.
They've been
That's a
dead a
little sad.
long time.
Okay, well then I will attack with my kukris, try to do as much of a bludgeoning motion as I can, but I have a slicey weapon, so.
Very well. You stab out at them.
Oh, probably not with a 9.
9, even with the flank, that's not going
I
to strike
even
your
had
target.
this cool like flip movement and everything that it. Nope.
Your feet slide a little under you in the sand. It's really bright out here, too. You guys have been inside for a while now.
The reality of the movie-esque moves whenever
Oh wait,
random dice are involved.
it would have actually been an 11 since I'm in a flank.
No.
Ouch.
Sagira.
Let's see. Sagira's gonna know that Sudi's gonna be way better at killing these than her, so she's gonna run forward and slide up next to Cleric, make Cleric face. I don't know his name. Kesha, yes. He
Kelbert.
slides up next to Kesha.
Kelbert.
And then she's gonna slash out with her Kopesh and get a 21.
A 21 will strike with your blade as you close on the creature.
9. So 4.
So you slice into it, it staggers back but still stands as you impact into it.
I'm gonna wink at like the half elf.
She would give you a smile.
Yeah.
That would bring us to Kelru. Thank you, my friend. He will take a 5-foot step back, stepping out of the threatened range of it, taking a quick glance around before taking a hand, producing his holy symbol, and blasting off a burst of positive energy.
Hey, he's a good guy.
He will include all of you guys in that as well,
Hey.
although it will not get to Onuris or Sitra.
Oh, he's healing us. Okay.
Well, thought he was gonna
Yeah, I
put
thought
it
it was going to damage the skeletons, but I mean.
Maybe they're more injured than we thought.
Party heals up for 8, as well as his party.
Okay, you know what? He may be
I am
okay.
full.
Maybe an A-okay guy. I'm
His
also
positive
back
energy
full.
washes over.
They must have been a lot more hurt than I thought they were.
He would nod over towards the men next to him, if you would, love. Azaz would nod, taking a step forward, yelling towards Valeriana. He will take a 5-foot step forward. He produces his wand before gesturing at the far side as a pool of grease would appear directly in front
Was
of
he
Valeriana.
threatening us with a wand of grease
He was
earlier?
threatening you with a wand of grease.
Wow.
I would have been livid had he covered me in grease.
Grease would appear mixing with the sand as the skeletons. One of them holds his feet, the other one does the whoop 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 of a oil slick penguin and falls on his back.
Oh.
Sagira's like, grease?
Azaz would do one of those like, yeah! He just
where-
did something amazing.
First of the
Fire?
wizards.
Magic missile? Sagira doesn't say that she knows nothing about magic.
Just the player judges him hard.
Just the player judges him. And says, how dare you point that wand at me, you little silly man.
Valeriana will
Magus?
Yeah, we know she has some magic, but we don't know if she's a wizard or
Yeah, we
a
know nothing about this. We'll see.
sorceress or a...
Yeah, she's going to 5-foot step away from the skeleton, gestures out, reaching into her component pouch, throwing forth an acid arrow, which would straight towards the standing one, striking her target.
Burning hands, maybe? I don't know.
Well, they've been fighting today. They
Yeah.
might be top 2. I'm sure their cleric's like, why isn't this cleric casting anything?
Does manage to acid it for 7 points of damage as the skeleton dissolves into a pile of goo. Good. That brings us to Adori. She will attempt to acrobatics. That will not succeed. She will go bolting past Kelru, sliding past Sagira before dropping into the flank on the opposite side of the skeleton, provoking an attack of opportunity as she does so. Skillfully sliding under the attack, she spins and hefts, swinging her Kopesh. She draws her kukri into her offhand as she closes.
Hey, she fights like I fight.
Yeah, you're like mirror images.
Hey, honey.
She gives you a... as she flips around.
Hey. Sweet.
A lot of flirting going on in this battlefield. Adori swings,
Powerful gay energy.
striking her target, dealing 6 and 5 with her sneak attack for 11 points of damage as she shatters through the skeleton. That will bring us to the skeletons. That one's going to stand up from prone and attempt to exit out of the grease. Nope, so he's just not moving. He's just stand up from prone and then pinwheeling his skeleton arms. On the opposite end of the battlefield,
The one next to Sudi steps up.
yep, bearing down on you with 2 claws as he 2-up and fights.
Bring her on.
You're not the only one with called Shink.
Claw fight.
Sudi have claws?
5,
No.
You got declawed.
19.
Aw.
19 will hit.
He keeps his nails manicured.
Yeah. Nothing worse
Well,
than
we
a
established
scratch
before
back.
that you have to have some claws because you have a climb speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a claw attack.
Yeah, they're not long, they're a little blunted. Still, its claws, it would dive forward. You managed to bat away one of its arms before the other one would grab onto your shoulder, digging in for 5 points of damage.
Ow.
As effectively its thumb, what is the thumb bone? It's just more phalanges?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, but as it effectively plunges all 3 inches of its thumb through your shoulder, it begins trying to chew on your face with its bony teeth, although half of them seem to be missing. The one on the opposite side, they don't actually possess any intelligence, so it's not going to step out of the flank. It does see a guy bearing a holy symbol, though, so it's a hatred of holy symbols.
It's not
comes
really
into play.
bearing so much as it is on my
On his
face.
face!
It's going to rip out your eye.
I need that. to see.
4,
I need that, please.
and a perfect 20 will hit thread.
Ah.
This one's going to be on the fence, 16.
No.
So it does not confirm.
Well,
It does still scratch you across the cheek, honestly across the side of the face for 4 points of damage. As the skeleton bears down on you, we cut back to Onuris.
Eurus will raise his Kopesh and swing at the one who just tried to gouge out his eye with a 20.
A 20 will strike your target. I keep wanting to say it hisses, but they don't actually. They're just...
They make that teeth chattering creepy noise. Onuris does 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage will shatter it as you slam your blade
I
through.
decapitate it. Just shink.
Very well. You would decapitate it with your Kopesh. Its head goes flying through the air. Oh, Onuris still has a move action remaining if you'd like to take it. I don't know if he's like Sudi can handle that and trying to get back into the other fight, or...
I mean, I go next.
Yes, if you go next, then yeah, I'm not gonna get in the flank. There's can I even see?
You know that there's still at least a skeleton moving down on the other end.
Onuris will nod at Sitra, and he's gonna go ahead and move up this way.
Down the alleyway back towards the Scorched Hand and Sukira.
You have a 20-foot movement speed, do you not?
He's gonna lumber over there.
One further back, that's 25 feet.
Goodness.
Counting is hard.
So you begin slowly plodding your way in that direction. I'm wearing a medium armor. I'm playing a medium armor Inquisitor, so I'm very well aware of the movement
I
restrictions.
got used to playing my fighter, and she's like heavy armor, whatever. You know?
From Onuris, who begins trudging his way through the sand back in the direction, feeling the holy power of Nethys pulsating, although it didn't wash over you. Just out of range. We go to Sudi Kontar.
All right. Alright, Sudi's got this thing latched on one shoulder. He's going to take his other hand and flurry of blows, try to punch its head off.
Very well.
Like,
boop
get
him in the
off.
snoot.
Get off.
Do one of those Ryu uppercuts.
Possibly. Let's see. So that's a 14.
A 14 will not strike your target.
Sad. Once more with feeling. How about a 16?
A 16 will, however, hit your foe.
Heyo. So
flurry of blows.
Second one connects for 7 points of damage.
Shattering the skeleton into pieces
Yay.
as it falls into chunks.
So he just kind of looks at it.
Bring us around to Sitra.
Well, there went my plan.
You better sprint.
I guess I'll start heading down the alleyway.
You want a double move or just move?
I mean, honestly, this guy is pinwheeling in grease. I don't think I'm even going to get a chance to hit it before everybody else takes care
Keep
of
an
it.
eye on our allies,
So
of course.
I'm just going to kind of step back into the entryway of the alley and just kind of keep an eye out in case more come. And
Sitra moves forward and keeps an eye out.
yeah, I'll ready so that if I see something, I'll attack it. Like evil, like skeleton, not someone I know. Obviously.
Poor Priest of Pharasma walks around the corner. Oh!
Sorry! Dire skeleton!
I was just trying to heal you. Sagira.
I'm starting to think these skeletons are what killed these people.
Yeah, but their gear's been taken.
These guys took their gear.
They're not wearing anything.
The horses would have been murdered by skeletons, right? Like skeletons would kill the horse. Anyway, I'm gonna move forward and like
Close on the pinwheeling
dodge
skeleton.
around. Yeah, I'm gonna dodge around. What's her face with a hat?
Very well. You bat her hat out of your way.
Can I get all the way? No, he's gotta.
That's greased.
I don't want to get in there. I was just
Yeah, you
gonna
don't wanna-
provide a flank.
It's like
but
a woman
I
at the
can't really.
Kentucky Derby wearing an overly ornate hat.
Yes. And then I'm gonna get a 23 to hit the skeleton.
23 will strike your foe.
And okay, there we go. 25 damage. No, what?
What?
Sorry, 15.
You just jumped up to 10th level or something.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I was
Let
like,
me-
did I blink and miss the critical?
What was your damage?
15 damage.
You would slam scattering skeletal bits across the grease as they would just slowly slide through the muck.
Wipe my sword off. Well,
Well, that was entertaining.
your word choice is interesting.
Aziz would just kind of eye Aziz. I keep saying Aziz.
Aziz, light!
light! He does know the light spell.
First level wizard.
On yours, you should check these horses for claw marks. I wonder if this is what killed these.
Onuris is going to use his last spell to heal himself first, because I'm down to like 10 hit points, so...
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure, do that. But,
Azaz would just kind of give all of you I had that handled kind of peacock fluff before.
Oh, give it a rest.
your grease did not have that handled.
Kilru would pat him on the shoulder, giving you a little
Onuris is back
smile.
at full health.
Yay.
Are you in need of any further healing?
I mean, I do, but apparently everybody else is toughing it out.
Well, no, I'm back at full.
Please, sister, if you don't, I would be happy.
I like how she looks at Onuris like, can I? Is it allowed?
Sagira says he healed us, which I think means he's good.
He healed y'all. I was way in the back.
Well, you were too far away. That's not his fault.
I
to say.
appreciate that Citra has a y'all. And
It's involuntary.
It
you
is the
cannot
best
grow up in
plural
the
you.
South and not have it sneak in even when you don't want it.
Y'all is a good word.
But Adora gives Sagira a glance over, giving you a smile. You fight well.
As do you.
Are you local?
I am.
Haven't seen you around. She would spin her blades before sheathing her Kopesh and Kukri, seeming to decide that you guys aren't a threat.
Yeah.
Onuris gets a 21 on a heal check to check out these bodies and the horses for what kind of something may have murdered them.
Very well.
I'll put my weapons away too, I guess, since, these guys aren't going to murder us, I don't think.
at least we don't think so.
With your heal check glancing this over, Kelru would kneel down beside you and just go, this thing over here.
You're just like,
He
stop.
aids.
Okay, he aided us. Maybe they're okay.
It looks like, in fact, something was tearing into these, but it isn't skeletal. There's a stench here, a stench you're somewhat familiar
It's
with.
not skeletons, ghouls, or ghasts.
Okay, that makes sense.
That being told, though, this horse was actually killed by an arrow through the eye that you can still see the broken remnants of.
Though the horse was killed by an arrow.
Maybe they were killing the horse to give the gas something to eat so they could escape.
Maybe.
Although if they were killed by gas, are they going to become gas?
What about the human, or the people?
No, the person has to remain alive for the infection to spread through them. These, well, they're dead, but we can inform the priests of Pharasma. Perhaps those of the Holy Temple. Like you, brother. He would gesture towards Sudi.
The voice of the Spire can come collect the bodies.
Something intelligent, however, stripped their gear, unless that was you.
Us? No, friend, no.
Well, I mean, there's also...
There was nothing of magic left on them. We checked to make certain. They were of no further need for it.
Were the people killed by ghouls, too? Do they have the bite marks?
Taking a second to glance over, making another heal check. You get a +2 from the 8.
So 24.
No. These look like swings from some sort of curved blade, probably a Kopesh or Kukri or...
Someone killed these people and these animals, and then the ghouls or the ghast came through afterward for lunch.
Okay.
We're not going to find the voices of the Spire around here. Idori would shake her head.
She had a tone when she said that? Or did I just, imagine that?
She just seems to have kind of a constant tone. It's also me trying to do a little bit of an accent, but...
She's got resting voice.
Resting voice.
The voices fell back. They're not in this region any longer.
What drove them back?
I'm not certain.
Huh. Curious.
I got a better vantage from up on top of the roofs. They've moved back from the center of the city and it pulled back towards the gate.
That's interesting. Because they were working on securing an area that was known to have lots of ghoul activity this morning when we first got here.
There's too many
and
people.
where precisely is that? Belriana would step forward.
There's too many people in the dead city. It's stirring up all the undead.
Well,
they're acting outside of their normal habits.
Well, and apparently some of the undead go into the city and grab people or something, and there's ghoul packs, and
There's a reason this part of the city is locked off, and people aren't supposed to come in here.
My question is, why do people live in this city?
The city itself's fine.
Sometimes people have nowhere else to go.
Belriana would shrug. Idori would just kind of make her way around, glancing about, smiling as she finds a forgotten dagger and placing it in her pocket.
Nice. That's interesting. I would imagine getting out of here would be a good idea if even the voices have retreated.
We should find out why.
Perhaps, friends, we can all travel together.
That's fine.
You keep using this word. I don't think you know what this word means.
It's probably a verbal tick.
Regardless, it might be prudent.
Shall we, though?
Yep.
That would give all of you kind of a glower before almost seemingly taking point before Idori would just kind of step in front of him, shove him back physically, and begin leading the way.
Onuris would smirk.
Sudi's definitely thinking, where did they find this kid? Like,
Well, he's with the cleric guy, but I'm like, dude, you have a death wish? Jesus. Yeah, I guess we walked back to town, keeping an eye out for undead or, marauders.
Very well.
And voices of the Spire, because what the heck?
You could easily make your way back through the city streets. Don't know if you guys wanted to talk with any of these people before we keep going.
I would imagine we'd probably try to keep our voices down because we don't want to alert
I
ghouls
don't
and ghasts
trust
and all these
their
other
leader
things.
chick. The cleric seems pretty cool.
I'm gonna chat with my lady that I'm flirting with about weapons and stuff.
Yeah, you can come up alongside of her. She would give you a nod.
I mean, I'm usually in the front too, so.
Sorry if Belriana insulted your town.
She's intense.
A little. She would pitch her voice low and speaks in an Osiriani that seems to be... You would notice that Kelru does speak Osiriani, as does Azaz, although both of their accents seem to be a northern dialect. You're going to guess that they're probably from somewhere closer towards the inner sea region, as opposed to central Osirian such as you are. Hers you're not positive of. It seems to be a weird mix.
So have you been traveling with them long?
No, only recently. I was brought on as retainer.
It seems like they need someone who can
Fight?
fight.
Fight, find traps, things like that.
It's pretty useful when you're in these crypts.
You all seem to be a capable lot.
I think between us, yeah.
Although there's a notable lack of boom for your buck, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. I'd take a cleric over a wizard any day.
She would shrug. You can't make a sense motive talking with her.
I sense motive for her. I do, okay. Let's see.
Technically, the entire group can make a sense motive as you make your way back. But
I get a 15, unless my favorite train helps me somehow. But I don't think
no, but I'll give you a +2 since you're actually directly talking to one of them.
so. 17.
I got a 10.
Citra gets a 23.
Onuris gets an 18.
Cool. With your 17, you get the feeling that Idori... There's no camaraderie there. And you've dealt with enough people like this, you honestly get the feeling that she's probably just a mercenary. This is more or less just a paycheck for her, and finding said dagger and probably other trinkets is just a nice bonus that she adds to her checklist. Regardless there, you don't really feel any necessary love loss, although you do get this impression of there's a certain degree of pride there, more in that, yeah, I'm their protector, yeah, I'm the one taking care of things. You almost get a little bit of maybe a disdainful thing towards the spellcasters, which is everyone else in her party.
Oh, man.
But Sitra just kind of keeping an eye as they're going. You can get kind of a feel for how this seems to be working. Valeriana is obviously the one in charge here. She would seem to take a moment to berate Azaz, who would just kind of take it like a lapdog. Give a nod towards Kelleru, who seems to have actually been supporting her back there, and you get the impression that probably is second in command. Although you're not entirely positive how it works with the Church of Nethys here, considering that he's an actual... They all seem to be Nethians, with the exception of Adori. But he's an actual priest, but the wizard seems to be in charge. But he's the god of magic, so you don't entirely know how that works. Kelleru, though, however, would seem to be very tender in reassuring Azaz of his help in the fight previously. No idea what's going on there. And Adori just seems to be walking in the front, just trying to ignore all of them and pay attention to what's going on around. Although periodically giving smiles over to Sukira as they, compare Kopesh's, and she seems very jealous of your magic sword.
I bought it off a halfling.
Have you found anything interesting out here? The rest of them are a little bit more abrasive about it, but yes, we are looking for a place.
Yeah, she's mentioned it before. We found a few interesting things, mostly, restless spirits attached to items, and a really old board game, which was kind of weird. But yeah, we haven't seen anything that she's looking for. Have you guys even gone to your second site?
Yeah, we finished exploring it earlier on. It didn't take very long. So far we've had, about the worst luck that you can imagine. Everywhere we've gone has been mostly picked over before, or has nothing but a couple of trinkets left behind. Nothing magical, nothing interesting.
Yeah, it's like that. Especially it's going to be that way near the edges of the gate, or the wall.
I wish you nothing but the best, then.
You too. You seem to have quite a challenge with the number of squishy spellcasters you need to keep alive.
They're a little bit tougher than they look.
A little
Except
concerned.
his ass.
What's up with that kid? Is he trying to get himself killed?
I think he's just got a lot to prove. And having been an outsider, I understand that. He would shrug. He's not a bad kid, though. Kelleru isn't either. I wouldn't cross Valeriana. But hey, you did well back there.
You too.
I appreciate the assist. If you find yourself at the Whispering Stone, let me know.
What's the Whispering Stone?
You may make a knowledge local to know more about it.
Oh, I don't roll super great on that. I get a 12.
12. You would pretty much know kind of what most of the locals do. The Whispering Stone is a tavern in the city.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a tavern and gambling den. There's no inn there or anything along those lines, but it isn't like a hookah lounge or anything like the Tooth and Hookah.
Okay.
It's rather popular with mostly the adventurous type, in addition to the fact that it is famed throughout the city for basically having its statue of luck, which is the whole draw for it, that there's a statue there. And there's just a popular superstition that anyone who can climb up there and steal a kiss from the statue then has luck and love immediately thereafter.
So it needs to go hit that place up.
It is a rather popular establishment in the city.
Okay. Maybe.
But probably not as much for people that want, you guess. You don't imagine the rest of her group going there.
Right. Well, can never have too much luck.
Well, if you find yourself there, I'd happy to buy you a drink.
All right, I'll hold you to it.
She smiles, sauntering a little bit more for those of you in the back.
Onuris would be keeping an eye on Hat Lady, Valeriana.
Hat Lady.
You may actually make a spellcraft.
20?
You don't know if it's just paranoia on her part, but you would see that periodically she's basically casting detection spells and watching the surrounding streets. This also seems to be done in a surreptitious way to wash them over the rest of you, seemingly identifying what you're carrying as you're making your way. You don't know if that's just her paranoia about all of you, but you would note that, of course, most of the gear and such that you have found is inside of a bag, and since she can't get line of sight to that, she can't actually identify what loot you're carrying with you. Just the rings and swords that you're carrying, and et cetera,
The only thing on yours has that's magical is that shield.
I have a ring and a sword.
Sudi has nothing.
+1 crossbow. That's about
You eventually begin to make your way, though, closer towards the exit, to the point that you can actually hear it as you begin to approach closer. As you begin to make your way towards the gates, though, you would notice that there are a lot more people here than usual. The voices of the Spire are here in number.
What is happening?
And large crowds are gathered around, shouting towards them as you begin to make your way out. Many of them would cast glares and glances towards all of you, the 8 of you at this point.
Well,
You can hear shouts of protest about the cost of food going up, the cost of local resources, I can't get a wheel replaced for my cart, all the metals going over to making arrows, and I can't get new bindings for my barrels, and so on and so forth, as well as numerous shouts about the awakening the undead spirits and endangering us all. The voices would seem to do what they're trying to keep order in all this, but you can tell that many of them would cast glares back towards all of you as well, as the Church of Pharasma doesn't seem to be very sympathetic about this either. Just doing their jobs. Sitra, you would see a single towering figure. The man that you have met before who had introduced himself as the commander of the Voices of the Spire.
Oh.
Nakat Shepus, who would stand off towards the side and seems to be directing his soldiers about.
The guy that I talked to in line?
Yes.
At the temple, I
Yes,
think.
at the temple.
Yeah. And who I also know.
yeah, Onuris would know him too.
Valeriana would just kind of stop, give all of you a once glance over before a curt nod before beginning to make her way off through the streets. Keller would smile. Thank you, friends. This was an enlightening experience. Go in peace.
You too.
Zaz would just kind of give all of you a little bit of a look and sneer before following.
Citra makes a face back at him.
Adori gives Sagira a smile before nodding towards the rest of you. Well, after this is all done, if you find yourself in need of a little extra muscle, let me know. My rates are reasonable. She would turn, making her way off.
All right, let's see.
Well, looks like we're going to have an uncomfortable afternoon.
This is unfortunate.
It's
Not
understandable.
unforeseen, though. The church was never happy about having to.
No, the Ruby Prince made a poor decision allowing this to happen.
So then why did you join in if you don't agree with it?
To stop the desecrations that are undoubtedly taking place. At least if I've searched a site, I know it was respected.
I'll have to ask, is Onuris being purposefully evasive? Because the party would
Yes.
get a sense motive.
Sense motive!
Out of sensing.
Wow, I roll okay.
He has mentioned that he's looking for other things too,
Yes.
but, you know, he hasn't necessarily kept that a secret.
I get a 15. sense
Sudi
motive.
gets a 20.
I get a 21.
What do you get taking 10 on a bluff?
13.
Yeah. So, you would all remember that he'd mentioned before that he was looking for some sort of documents as well.
But the large part of it is what I said, you know?
Yeah.
My minor motivation still.
Well, we know that you want to go look at that one place, so.
As all of you would watch, though, a group of Pharasman priests would arrive to try to calm the crowds here, the non-militant wing of the Church of Pharasma in the city. Accompanying them would be notably Septi the Crocodile, who would make her way past to go and speak with the commander of the Voices of the Spire. Even from here, even without a sense motive check, you can tell that the two of them are having very tense words.
What are the chances that the soul gets just shut down?
They can't shut it down.
It's an order from the Pharaoh.
Now, the chance of it becoming a riot, that's a higher chance.
The only reason the church is participating was because when they told him they didn't think it was a good idea, he basically said, well, I'm doing it with or without you.
And so to control the chaos, the church agreed to it in order to put the lottery in place and not just have a free-for-all.
Although you would think Abadar would send some people, just saying.
Abadar doesn't care about the people, he cares about profit.
Right, so wouldn't you want to have somebody to gather that sweet, sweet profit?
They know that it'll get back into the economy, whether it's regulated by the church or not. What do they care if the tombs are desecrated and the city's thrown into chaos if they get their money?
Hence why the church wanted to control
But I thought
it.
they liked law and stuff.
Pharasma?
No, Abadar.
Abadar?
He's mostly just...
He's lawful neutral.
Yeah, but it's mostly the marketplace, commerce.
Right, but wouldn't a
Capitalism.
riot mess that up?
Well, yeah, and so the Church of Abadar will probably step in to attempt to quell any ideas of riot and anything else, but it is also still free market, that if the market is flooded, then that's just what happens, and
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, they're...
Why did the Ruby Prince want to open this all up to
He
everyone?
needs money. That's my only guess.
Any of those of you who wish may make me. You know, it have been rumors around town, so you may make a knowledge local.
And a 22. Well, I heard.
I got a 17.
With a 17 and a 22. What the two of you would know would be that about 7 years ago, the Ruby Prince Pharaoh-Ketmet III formally opened Osirian's ancient tombs and burial sites to foreign explorers. Ketmet III understood that adventurers who traveled great distances in search of treasure typically do not return from whence they came to sell their discoveries, and instead they typically sell or trade whatever they find as quickly as possible to the nearest civilized community, with an economy strong enough to absorb an influx of valuable antiquities. The Ruby Prince policy basically was open this up so that grave robbers sell things in Osirian instead of coming into Osirian, not being able to sell it, and then take it to another nation and then sell it off. More or less that he couldn't stop the grave robbers, so he might as well profit from them. The Ruby Prince's policy has attracted not only explorers to the desert nation of Osirian, but also countless scholars, private collectors, special interest groups such as the Pathfinder Society and the Aspis Consortium, and financial interests from all over the Inner Sea. More or less making a minor industry that sprung up just to support visiting explorers, and an even larger infrastructure has come into being to serve foreign investors and traders. Effectively, every opening of a major site has heralded an economic boom for the local area and Osirian as a whole, even though it oftentimes causes these shortages and upsets in the local market from effectively this much of a cash inflow, disrupting the market. I mean, again, you guys saw it whenever you showed up, and it was like an inn room is 3 gold per night. Mm-hmm. It's just like, well, supply and demand.
Adventurer tax.
I'll also let either of you make a knowledge nobility or knowledge religion.
Can I make either one of those things?
I don't have either one of those.
I got a 12 religion.
I mean, you can if they inform you of that.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean.
Alright.
So yeah, you can make a knowledge nobility or religion.
Can I make both?
The DC's the same for
I
them,
get a
so.
9 knowledge religion, so I'm useless.
I get a 20 on religion.
20 on religion. You would also know that the Pharaoh Ketmet III, the Ruby Prince, is a cleric of Abaddon.
There you go.
Money.
He doesn't care as long as it keeps the economy churning.
Well, as long as there's not a riot. Which there might be, considering how angry these people are.
Yes, and guess who's going to be on the receiving end of it?
Oh, it's going to be us and the voice.
Septi would make her way down, reaching up hands to calm down the crowds, which Septi, being rather well loved in Wati, would get the respect of the crowds. She would apologize for the issues with the food stuff and the prices, before pledging that the poorest amongst the city will receive free food stuff from the Church of Pharasma, provided by the priests, as well as what other help that they can provide. One man would shout out asking about the line to even receive any magical aid from the Temple of Pharasma, as all of these local groups have been consuming all of the magical resources and divine magics in the city, of which she would ensure that they will do their best to accommodate all. The crowd would seem to kind of grumble at this, some of them not seemingly pleased well enough and still standing nearby, to the point that you're going to guess that the Voice of the Spire are going to need to stay here to protect the adventurers coming back in, or protect these people from doing something stupid to
Provoke the adventurers.
as the first level commoner throws a rock at a 5th level fighter.
He follows Asmodeus and will skewer them. I mean, it's just...
It's a Cavalier. He's just like, I challenge you, and then charges.
Yeah.
Well, that was unnecessary.
Do our errands at the temple and get out of the marketplace.
As fast as possible. I don't like this one bit.
Making your way back.
Onuris would turn to Sagira. You should, if you're going to keep that ring, you should probably have the clerics look at it and make sure that the spirit doesn't have any more power.
Alright.
Don't feel like you're getting possessed. Alright, so who's selling the stuff?
Sudi's been doing that.
I think I am going to go with Sudi, though, because if they're starting to price gouge things...
Yeah.
I think that might be...
I'll
good
take
idea.
the headband and the wedding ring we found on the corpse and give those and the notes and give those over to the temple.
Okay.
Because, and then I have to see if there's any healing available, since I am probably coming down with the plague of madness.
As are we all. No,
Like
not
it,
that one.
dude.
Um,
Like
It's
it.
gone crazy.
But you should go with Sitra,
Yeah.
probably, because if we're going to split the party, it's better to have 2 and 2 than 1
Yeah,
and 3.
that's fine.
I slide my ring around so that the diamonds are on the underside of my hand.
Good idea. Good idea, so you don't have this like blinged out ring catching the sunlight, dazzling the common folk.
But making your way through the city streets, you'd eventually reach the market in front of the Temple of Pharasma. The temple itself is seemingly extraordinarily busy right now.
Of course it is.
Again, seemingly with just a line of people and a group of people standing outside complaining towards the temple. There are even more people complaining at the Temple of Abadar. Because Abadar basically says, well, yeah, it really sucks what's going on, but no charity.
Yep.
The worst.
Do your own thing.
So you
I'm
sure
surprised
gonna
Abadar
go...
doesn't
Helps
raise
those
their
who help
prices
themselves.
If Abadar really loved you, you'd be rich, so I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yep.
So you guys are gonna go sell the stuff at the temple because I take the antiquities here.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take the other random stuff to the...
Because most of what we picked up is antiquities, so that's probably where we'll end up first.
okay.
Okay, and then we need to give the headband over and give the ring over, and I need to see if they can heal me. Were you gonna go turn in the notes about the...
Yeah.
So Sitra will go turn in the notes about the site. So basically we're all at the temple, we've just gotta go...
Kind of got to separate out
Yeah.
to different parts of the temple.
Very well. So, arriving at the temple, though, I suppose we'll start with Sudi and Sagira. You're selling off the general items.
Yeah,
and the antiquities, because you're supposed to sell the antiquities back to the temple.
Yeah, so I mean, we've got, depending on what you declare antiquities, we've got things like earrings and jewelry, vases, goblets and plates.
The antiquities are going to be the funerary items.
The funerary items,
mask
okay.
and the...
well then...
Mask, the pendant, a mummified guardian, potentially.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would go to the
Oh,
temple.
well, I feel
three
like
of those.
Onuris could have just taken those, 4 things, and then we could go to the actual marketplace and sell everything else.
And we could.
It's whichever. I can take that stuff.
Okay.
Just before things boil over here in the city.
Very well. So, if you guys are taking the rest of the items, making your way out, I'm going to need an appraise check from the two of you. One of you can aid the other if you so wish.
My appraise is non-existent.
My
Do you
appraise
have
is
a-
real good. You should.
Okay, I'm going to try to aid you, and I do.
29.
29. It would take you a majority of the rest of this afternoon.
I'm haggling.
Well, more or less because you're forced to. Most of them are only offering you about 40% on any of the items that you're bringing them because the market is so flooded right now with jewelry and random items brought back from tombs. Effectively, anything that isn't magical, it's difficult to get for, the half price for. However, you would be able to just kind of find a couple of people that you're like, hey, look, I know you do shady back dealings. The Temple of Abadar is right over there. Just cut me a deal. We
I know
just
your
walk
scale
away.
is a little off.
Yeah. It would still take you the better part of about 4 hours, which means that by the time that you're done, it's about 6 o'clock by this point. But Sitra, you are making your way inside to turn over your notes.
Yes.
You would make your way in, navigating through. The temple here is exceptionally busy, in large part because not only is the Grand Mausoleum the High House of Pharasma in the city, it's also effectively the town hall. So in addition to the fact that people are coming here for healing, and also possibly food stuff now that the Church of Pharasma is offering it, they're also coming here to issue all of their complaints. Which, judging by the number of people that you can see, and effectively the line leading over towards the office for the city governor, it's appointed by the pharaoh. You could hear people from where you are echo, their voices echoing through the marbled halls here, complaining about, oh, these adventurers came in and rented this inn room for me, and then got drunk and punched a hole through the wall, and these two adventurers got into, and ended up having a chariot race down the main street in front of my stall and wrecked my stall, and generally complaints of what happens when you add 100 adventurers to a city.
A small city.
Yeah, to a relatively small city, and mechanically a small city. A city with a grand population of 7,300 people. So, adding an extra 100 people that are nothing but adrenaline junkies is somewhat difficult.
Goodness.
Regardless, though, you would eventually manage to make your way back. You turn it over to the same person that you get your drawing from, and so you'd be able to go back there and be like, hey...
You might as well draw for our next site while you're there.
The woman in question wears a simple robe of Pharasma, has a shortcut. I always call it a bob. But what is it when you have the hair is cut short down to about jaw length and then has the bangs
That's
going
a
across the
bob.
top?
That's a bob.
Yeah. But has basically the bob haircut with the short cut across the front and then her hair falling down black and straight about her face. She would give you a polite nod as you approach. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm here to submit the notes from our last sites and to draw for the next one.
And what is the name of your group?
Doorkeepers of the Dwarves.
The voice of Onuris comes from down the hall.
The ghostly voice of Onuris from your memory.
The doorkeepers of the Duat.
Yes. She would check through the list. You may make a perception roll.
11.
11? Well, an 11 is enough to... You wouldn't be able to get a great deal of information, but glancing down, you would see that she has a list of all the names of everyone that registered. There's about 25 on there. You would notice with probably some discomfort, there are at least 5 of those names crossed off.
Ooh.
You don't know what that means, but...
Either they finished all 3 or they're...
Did some of those groups just leave?
These are the groups that have not been seen in 2 days. It is quite possible that some of them simply left. Glancing down, yeah, you would notice that. You would notice that there is only a single check mark next to one of them.
It probably means they finished all 3 sites.
It looks like only one group has, though.
They got baby sites. Like, they just got like, oh, here's a one-room house.
Do I recognize any of the groups that have been crossed out? Or did I not see well enough?
You can lean over, although if you don't want to make it look like you're spying, you'd need to make a bluff check.
Nah, I don't care that much.
Here we are. You're assigned to the House of Panthera. Did you find anything of interest there?
I mean, most of the building was haunted.
Haunted? Did you put the dead at rest?
We have to go back to finish at least one part of it, but for the most part, yes.
What is it that you need to do?
We need to anoint the gates with holy water.
I can contact the church. We can dispatch someone to do that as well.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I would be happy to. A man would step out of the shadows nearby. What appears to be a Garundi man with stark white hair. His appearance just kind of startles you. I apologize. I will be heading in that direction, regardless.
And you are?
He would stare off into space, almost seeming to listen before he turns back.
It's Sudi's friend from the market.
Yeah.
Sudi and Onuris.
Your name is Sudi and Onuris? Because that sounds more like my friends.
You were traveling with Sudi and Onuris. That was my question.
And how would you know that?
We are old friends. Well, Sudi. And old friends is somewhat of a misstatement. We're associates. Well, not anymore. He no longer works for the temple. We are former cohabitators of this building.
Thank him so much.
Regardless, though, thank you for informing me. I will take care of it. Good day. He would give you a nod, making his way off.
What is your name? No, seriously, what is your name?
My name is Tetmanib.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, introductions. What was your name?
Sitra.
Sitra. You have a pleasant aura to you.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
I would.
Okay.
Good evening, Sitra.
You too.
No,
Was this your gang friend, or was this some...
No, this is one of the
No, he's
priests.
like
Remember, he was the one that Sudi saw in the marketplace that was talking to himself?
he's like
I thought that was the guy I talked to.
It's like a crazy
No.
fortune
No,
teller.
that was
No, that's who I talked to.
Yeah.
Shepus, the commander of the Voices of
Yeah,
Spire.
he's like a crazy like oracle kind of
Yeah.
weirdo person.
He just kind of smiles, making his way off, stopping to stare off into space again before laughing to himself as he makes his way down the hall.
Citra turns back to the lady behind the counter
She
and goes,
makes a little shiver, glancing after the man as he wanders off.
Am I safe?
Tetmanib is blessed.
Define blessed.
He has a very close connection with Pharasma.
So he's crazy.
I wouldn't say he's stable, but I wouldn't say he's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw for that next one now because I feel like I need to go get a drink.
Did you have anything else to offer the temple from your explorations?
The notes and stuff.
Oh, yes, we have translations from the sarcophagus.
Ah. She would take them from you, glancing them over. This will aid us greatly. It will be nice to be able to inform any surviving descendants of the House of Pantheru of their relations' ends. Hopefully this will put their spirits at rest.
Hopefully.
And she would nod before reaching in, turning the little crank wheel on the little ball dispenser for your raffle.
B9.
B9.
Bingo.
Bingo!
Here we are. You have been assigned to the Sanctum of the Erudite Eye.
Like, we all didn't see that coming as players, but still.
You're gonna need to bleep this because Citra's gonna go, oh,
Shimmies.
She just gives you a curious look before taking
We're not gonna tell them squat. It's fine.
taking your map and marking down the location exactly for the Sanctum that you guess that they've been looking for.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Of course. And here. She would produce a small marker. It looks to be maybe just a clay ring stamped with this holy symbol of Pharasma and hand it over towards you. If you present this to the church, they'll provide you a discount on any purchases that you may need for items or healing magic.
It's going to be that bad?
No,
In acknowledgement for your assistance in providing this information about the House of Panthera.
Oh, okay. You had me worried there a little bit.
I will warn you that the Sanctum is a large structure.
We're not telling those losers nothing.
Everybody work on your bluff skills.
This will be an interesting experience, I think.
Citra doesn't tell us.
Thank you again.
Yeah, Sitra doesn't tell us until we're all squirreled away by ourselves.
No, she waits until we're at
Citra's
the gate's about to go in. That's what
Yeah,
she tells
Citra's
us.
like tucking this all in like her shirt and everything, keeping it real close to the breast, literally, to make sure that it is not revealed too soon.
Very well. Citra, making your way back out, you would almost get towards the door before you'd hear your name. I suppose that you're like, oh god, Petmaniv's returned.
It's probably like boy that likes you.
I'm pretty sure he hates me.
No, there's a boy that likes you.
Yeah,
Oh, the other one from the bar.
Catching up with you, though, would be Falto.
Yeah.
As the man would give you a smile, jogging to kind of catch up alongside of you.
Still alive, I see.
You as well. And I'm doing better than alive. How are we doing?
I mean, I've had better days.
Good. I was hoping to find you. I checked around the Tooth and Hookah, but you weren't there.
Well, I've had to wait in line for hours with, the air of riot happening.
The craziness, yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, our group, the Crypt Finders. We finished our task. We just cleared our third site.
Bravo.
From what I understand, we're first, which apparently doesn't come with a reward. But we actually managed quite the haul from this last one. We're trying to set up a means by which to actually sell everything because they're trying to price gouge this like nothing else. That being said, we're going to get together and celebrate. And, you and your friends have been great with us, so we thought maybe tonight you could come and meet up with us. We're just trying to find a tavern now.
I know one of those. We're not here.
Well, again, I'll be at the Tooth and Hookah later tonight, so if you figure something out, let me know. I will let the rest of them know as well.
Yeah, I'll send a runner. Yeah, all right. He would smile, jogging his way off,
So cute.
whistling to himself as he goes making his way off into the
Gosh,
city.
how did
She
that
calls
sweet
after him,
cinnamon roll-
congratulations!
How did he make it through all those things without
He
being
jogs down to join the Hell Knight at the base of the steps and just gruffly nods at you, and then they march off.
It's so
Citra
weird.
waves.
That's a weird group.
That explains the check mark.
You say to yourself?
Yeah.
Because no one else is there with you.
Yes.
And talking to yourself is something like Tepmanev can get away with.
Onuris, you would make your way in, travel to this. The room that Sitra originally went to has effectively been closed off as they filled it up with antiquities, and they have now opened up a larger room down the way that was probably an infirmary previously.
Oh, jeez.
This area is already crowded, and you could see a variety of different adventurers who seem to be in here more or less just trying to, take care of things.
Onuris gets in line.
As you'd make your way in line, of course, a number of the Pharasma priests would just kind of stop and it's like, hey, Onuris, how you doing?
Chit chat with everybody. Hey,
Yeah,
what's
a little
up?
catch up.
Ask them if they know if there's any remove disease spells available. If they know.
Casting-wise,
Yeah.
almost all of their upper-level spellcasting has been exhausted for the day. You may be able to purchase a scroll, but that's going to be a lot more expensive. And then you're going to have to either try to make the caster level yourself or find someone here that's available to try to cast that for
Right.
you.
Okay.
Regardless, it's maybe an option. You also know at the very least that there's the Temple of Abadar across the way.
Onuris just...
That's Heather's noise, but also Onuris would not want to do that anyway.
There's the shrine to Wadjet, but you don't know whether or not they're going to have a priest powerful enough. And you know that there's a shrine to Bast also, but you don't know if their priestess is powerful enough.
How much did the Scroll of Remove Disease cost? Because Onuris has a decent chunk of change on him right now.
We're all going to be real sick tomorrow.
Maybe.
I'm still down 3 wisdom.
We made a lot of saves. I am down on wisdom, too.
Because I don't want to have the Plague of Madness. It sounds like bad news.
Or whatever the cat scratch fever thing is that those things have.
I don't know if I failed that. I know for sure that I have the symptoms, starting symptoms of that other one, though.
Yeah, for a Skull of Remove Disease, you're looking at 375 gold pieces.
I do not have that.
Yeah.
What did you say? Yeah, I think I have that Plague of Madness that almost killed everyone. Does that get the price down?
But you would eventually reach the front of the line, at which point they would take the assorted items that you brought, which I believe is the Funerary Mask, the
mummified cat.
mummified cat,
the
amulet.
headband.
Yeah, explain to them what
curse
that headband is, and yeah, that needs to be like right away.
And the ring.
And then the wedding ring, just, that because it has the inscription we found. He was a fresher body, that's why.
Yeah, he
might still have family.
It's not an antiquity, so they
okay,
can't.
but where should I take that though?
to figure out somebody can find this lady.
They would inform you that they can confer with the records of birth and death in the city and see if there's anything there.
I can do that later.
Okay.
But yes, give them the antiquities.
They would take it and give you market price for it, so the half price value for all the items except for the funerary masks and any of the other art objects, of which they would give you full price for.
Nice.
Still get that 1,500 for that cat statue, or that mummified cat. So
how much does what does that headband go for?
Yeah.
Because I never got that. I just have it written down as headband of making a beheaded, so...
Yeah.
Dead man's headband. 3,600 gold normally.
Okay.
So like that and the cat statues where a lot of your money's coming from this one.
For sure.
Sagira was going to meet us back at the bar after shopping to split the gold,
Sudi,
right?
So yeah.
Well, I didn't know. Well, technically, you and Sitra finished way before the two.
Yeah, we're out.
Oh yeah, we're out late.
Till like 6.
Okay.
You'd be able to.
Oh, go ahead.
You'd be able to sell these off and begin making your way out. As you would exit, you would see 17 making her way back. You're going to guess from the wall.
I'm actually going to stop her if I can.
Onuris.
Good afternoon.
She would incline her head. She looks tired.
I know you are busy. I saw some of the altercations outside of the temple gates. Yes. But in my last sight, we encountered a haunted ring. I think through the ghost's curse, I may have contracted the plague of madness.
And you should quarantine yourself.
I was hoping you might have access to a remove disease spell. I know the temple is taxed right now, but I'd rather not become contagious.
Immediately at this moment, no. If you start to show symptoms of it, you look warm.
And I already have a fever.
That could be any number of things, though. If you start to show... Let me actually check one thing.
If you start to go crazy...
If you start feeling violent and murderous.
If the urge to consume human flesh takes you.
If you start to hallucinate or show any erratic behavior. It's... The plague of madness was not spread through contact, so it will not be contagious in that manner. It is, however, spread through the air.
Oh my.
Lovely.
That's worse.
We could try to find a place for you at the temple here, but we are somewhat overfilled. You may check with the Temple of Abadar and see if they can assist you. I understand. It's just somewhat of a trying time at the moment.
I understand. I wish there was something I could do to help.
You may make a sense motive if you
there
wish.
Might be something you can do to help, actually.
23.
You can tell that she's tired. But you get the impression that there's something more there. For a moment, like there's something that she wanted to ask you.
You know you can still ask me for help, even though I'm not in the service of the temple any longer. That was something I had to do.
And I know that you have your own reasons for joining in on this. Commander Shepus.
He seemed agitated.
He is growing tired with what is transpiring, as are many of the voices of the Spire.
Understandable.
Be careful. They're becoming far more draconian in their approach to rule breakers.
Of course.
And if you should happen to witness something, remind them who they are.
Onuris would nod. Of course, High Priestess.
Thank you. If you are feeling unwell tomorrow, come and find me.
Of course.
I will do what I can to conserve the power necessary to help you.
Thank you. It's much appreciated.
The last thing we need to do is add a plague to our list of issues. Go in Pharasma's grace. She would make the spiral symbol towards you.
I would return the gesture and incline my head.
Stepping out, you pretty much managed to make your way towards the front door at the same time that Sitra would finish with her exchange with Falto as he goes skipping off down the stairs.
Your admirer seems quite excited.
We got invited to a party.
I don't know if I'm up for a party.
Oh, why?
She has a plague. Or he has a plague. I'm not here. Just kidding. Ignore me.
At the black lung, Pop.
Zoolander.
And I've had a fever all afternoon, morning, both. What time is it?
You're hallucinating already.
Well, I have something that will ruin your day.
That will make his day really great, actually.
Onuris lets out a long sigh. All right.
I got our third sight.
Oh, don't tell me.
It's exactly what you're thinking.
Well, we're going to have to keep that quiet.
Oh, we're keeping that very close to the vest.
I don't think we should tell Sudi till we're actually in the Death District tomorrow.
Or Sudi.
Probably not.
So,
I also
he's like, I'm
ran
not even
in-
going up for this, guys. I'm staying home.
You wouldn't happen to know a very tall priest with white hair that is very scary.
Tetmanu?
Manib.
Manu? Whatever his name is.
Tet Manib.
Tetmanib.
Tetmanib!
I have words. Yes,
His
Tetmanib.
buddies call him Nib.
We call him Nibby.
Does he have buddies?
Oh my god, that just makes it worse.
He has no
Good old
buddies.
Nibby.
You call him Teddy. It's weird.
Onuris would raise an eyebrow. What was his name again?
Tetmanib.
Tetmanib?
Tet Manib.
Yes.
No, he's harmless.
Is he? Because he doesn't feel harmless. He feels creepy.
He's touched with Pharasma's power. He has visions, but prophecy is broken, so...
So he is crazy. Okay.
Crazy is not the right term.
Onuris would also note he doesn't necessarily have visions. He just knows things that he shouldn't.
He knows things that he shouldn't. He's touched by Pharasma.
He told me I had a pleasant aura.
That's a
and
good
was-
thing.
I hope so. But he said he was going to go finish blessing the gate so that we didn't have to.
We can trust him. He'll take care of what needs to be taken care of.
Oh, actually go ahead and let both of you make a wisdom check.
She's gonna just go out. I guess.
I get an 18. Onuris gets an 18. Wisdom's his thing, being a cleric.
2.
This makes sense because Citra was just completely put off by him. You do know that Tetmanib is a powerful priest. Probably one of the more powerful in the city. That was notwithstanding, the fact that he's wandering off by himself into the dead city makes you a little uncomfortable.
He's a very powerful priest, but that's still strange.
Nobody tried to stop him.
Nobody tries to stop him ever.
He was very strange.
You get used to it.
I'm not sure I want to.
Onuris would shrug. Well, we'll have to check the records to find the ring's owner. But other than that, I've sold the Antiquities, and you've gotten our next site.
Sounds like you need a cup of tea and a bed.
That would be lovely. I suppose we'll go wait for the others at the inn. We go to the inn.
Well, you'd be able to make your way off to the end. All of you would be able to gather together later on that evening once Sudi had sold off all the stuff and Sagira had helped him sell through everything. By this point, Onuris is looking a little sweaty and a little uncomfortable.
Sagira eyes you.
What?
You're sick.
I know I'm sick. I spoke with Septi. She said to seek her out if I don't feel better in the morning.
Must be very serious if Septi didn't tell you to just talk to any priest.
She's concerned about the voices.
What about them?
Apparently, They're being much more draconian in their interpretation of the rules.
Well, it's a good thing we haven't broken any of the rules, even the spirit of the rules.
I think she's having a hard time keeping the commander in line isn't the right phrase, but
In line. Well, the city is crazy. It took 5 hours to sell everything to find good prices, to find like actual prices. So I imagine
Adventuring groups are also going missing.
adventure. Well,
We
we just saw like 6 dead guys.
I was going to say we might have found one already.
I didn't mention it to Septi, but they were killed with curved swords.
Oh.
And if they were breaking rules and the Spire is being as strict as Septi seemed to imply that they were,
You think that they're cutting them down right there in the streets?
if
Interesting.
they're breaking the rules and they're being that extreme.
That's
Sudi-
probably why the hat woman was so nervous.
She's breaking the rules.
Well, she's breaking the
Exactly,
rules,
that's
yeah.
what I mean. That she probably thought we were the Spire coming around the corner.
It's fair.
We need to try to remind them of their duties if we see them doing anything that extreme.
Well, I'd really hope if they see me, they wouldn't immediately assume I'm some.
I have a feeling
thug.
we'll be safe. They know who we are, but unless they see us doing something outright,
Which we do not do.
which we don't do.
So we'll be fine, and this won't bother us.
It is-
However, we should probably tell the others obliquely, not to put it out that they.
Everyone's high-strung right now. It's best if everyone just tries to keep a cool head.
It would be notable to Sudi also that a vast majority of the voices of the Spire are Pharasman Inquisitors. So they react to things pretty harshly.
Well, okay.
I know your friend has invited you to a party, but I think I'm going to turn in early and try to
party?
beat this.
Yes, we've been invited to a party.
Where's he having the party? Because I know a place.
Farhan would have made his way over whenever Sitra had arrived, which would have been a little bit before you guys, giving you a note that had been sent here stating that they are apparently hosting it at the only tavern large enough, which is the Whispering Stone.
Hey!
Some place called the Whispering Stone.
Yeah! Let's go there. That's
I'm
fun.
going to turn in early.
Yes, you should do that.
I'm going to make a heal check on myself.
I'll also advise that when we decide to spend this gold, I go with you because they are not being fair in this market.
Onuris gets a 27 on a heal check on himself to increase or decrease the saving throw DC. Isn't that how that works?
You
for
can't
disease?
long-term carry yourself.
Oh, that's true. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed.
Sagira would know that the priests of the Temple of Bast oftentimes take care of sick people as well. But
I mean, if you need immediate... I mean, I live in a temple.
Is anyone there capable of removing diseases?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but they take care of sick people, especially poor sick people. Not that you're poor.
I've been poor my life.
But I'm just saying they do it out of charity.
He is
instead
made of gold.
because they're-
I am not made of gold.
He moves too finely for it to be made, like, fully. He wouldn't...
I don't know, you can't, like, move
Anyway.
quietly anywhere.
All these things, I can take you to there, and they can at least, make you comfortable.
All right.
So we'll drop you off, and then we'll go party.
Yes.
Very well. So I suppose you guys would make your way back through the city streets.
Oh, you've never been to my temple before. It's very nice.
I'm also
Sudi's
going
gonna-
with you to the temple.
To make up with his girlfriend?
Yeah.
You should invite her to this party.
If she is
likes
still my
parties.
girlfriend by the end of it.
But making your way through the city streets, you would arrive at the Temple of Bast. The Temple of Bast is located across from the Embalmers Guild, which is a large spiral or sprawling. It's almost less of a single structure and kind of like a market. As you begin to make your way to the Embalmers Guild, or past the Embalmers Guild and then up towards the structure, you would find that it's a 4-story building in total, wedged between other nearby buildings with numerous floors set to it. As you'd make your way through the front, it seems it's business hours right now, so business is going on as well, of which they would immediately assume that that's why Onuris is here when he walks through the door. They're just
Onuris is like, no, thank you.
Well, I'm pretty sure I scoot in, very quickly.
scoot in like, hey guys.
He's ill. You certainly don't want to, apply your ministries in that fashion.
But you could contact and Sabar would come down, who appears to be an Osiriani woman with Cole basically giving her the whole cat-eyed look and fine features. She would kind of stop on the step as she would glance you over, seeming to take you in, just sitting there almost pouring sweat at this point.
Yeah.
I'm probably not wearing my armor and crap anymore at that point.
Look what the cat's dragged in.
Yes. He he picked up something while we were out, and the other temples are very tapped, and he needs a quarantine of some sort, possibly. And I know that sometimes we tend to the ill.
Best, of course, is welcome to all, son of Horus.
Thank you.
This is Onuris. Onuris Sabra. I introduce everybody.
Nice to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you as well. Thank you for keeping our friends safe. To both you, Onuris, and you, Sitra. Sagira is well capable of taking care of her own. Sudi is a troublemaker, but he has a good heart.
Your words cut so deeply into me.
Well, I can heal them if necessary.
I like her.
Yeah, she's pretty much the best.
Come, Onuris. There's a cot upstairs.
You can hang out with my cat.
I promise you the ladies will not bother you.
Thank you.
Although it may be difficult.
On
She would
your
give you a smile.
size.
He's so pretty.
Look how handsome you're. What, like a 16 charisma?
Yeah.
Look how handsome this man is.
Gorgeous. And you glow a little bit.
He's sick, though, so he's got like a...
She would take you upstairs, shoo like the 5 cats sleeping on the bed off.
There's like a million cats. I like cats.
You're going to wake up with like
If you're not
10
allergic
cats
to
all over you.
cats. That's how they all get on you and they purr. And they like simulate healing.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably how that works. It's gotta be.
But while the rest of you are waiting downstairs, as Onuris, gets comfortable up there, and they basically help cool you down, draw a bath for you to try to bring down your temperature.
Fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the two of you would see Idris making her way downstairs. She would kind of just stop halfway between a step as she begins to descend as she sees Sudi.
I tap Sitra
Idris is a relatively tall woman standing at close to about 5'6", so I think about the same height as, Sitra. She has kind of a long, lanky build and has features much more... You would almost consider to look waifish, although in a way that would still be considered attractive. She looks to be a girl probably no more than maybe 16 or 17.
We're all young in this party, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Onuris is the old man at 25.
She wears a large number of bracelets, gold dangling, which would, well, actually silver since she can't afford the gold. Also, some of them are gold plated, which would bounce around her wrists and wears around her neck. Sudi and Sagira would both know that she wears these to cover the scars from her manacles and shackles that she wore as a slave as a child. The girl doesn't look to be Osiriani. Probably southern past that, maybe Katapeshi. She would stare at all of you with her doe-like eyes before putting on her professional face, making a point to not look at Sudi before making her way over and, giving Sagira a hug.
I hug her and I'm like, ooh.
Welcome back, Sagira.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Sudi.
I think
I'm
you guys should
Sitra.
talk. This is Sitra.
Citra, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Or, is she a customer? Or?
No, she's with us.
Oh.
She's part of my my troop of adventurers, as it were.
Right.
I'm from An.
I haven't ever been to On. I'm actually not really that familiar with the area.
No, it's another city far away.
Oh, okay.
Well, let me show you my cool cat that I have.
That she was there when you found
Shush.
on your
I'm not here upstairs.
I would love to see your cat.
I'm going to take her to see my cat.
Yeah, you can make your way back into the back. I keep wanting to say Ezra. Ezra.
Isra. That's the cat.
Ezra, right.
That's right.
Not Ezra Miller.
Not Ezra
Isra.
Miller.
I mean,
You have
don't
Ezra
get me wrong.
Miller in a box in the back.
Ezra Miller is kind of amazing. Though.
But he's not a panther. That would be weird.
No, he's
But Ezra would give the two of you a nod as you make your way in. Ezra seems to know, you'd say the better part of a half dozen tricks that you've found so
Pretty cool.
far. Like Ezra will he'll come, he'll sit, She, yeah. Issuing the attack command, she'll shred a box if you ask her
Yeah,
to.
I'm just like, look at these cool tricks. I'm working on some other tricks, but these are pre-programmed. It's weird.
They're pre-selected.
Pre-programmed is not a word she would actually.
Ezra's still in default mode right now, so.
Robo
she just needs to level up.
But I
put some
suppose
skill points in there.
Sudi and Idris would stare awkwardly at each other as the sound of a cat shredding a box in the back echoes through the hallways. Sudi.
Idris, can we go somewhere and talk? Just the two of us?
And she would kind of glance towards the door woman, who just kind of give her a nod before she would lead you up all the flights of the stairs until you can exit out onto the roof. A cool breeze washes over, and I don't know what the moon face is. I'm going to say that the full moon hangs high and paints the city in brilliant shades of silver and gold. There are a couple of pillows set up here because this is more or less the smoke break area for most of the ladies in the temple. There's a hookah set off to the side.
Sudi, usually a confident and slinky thing, suddenly gets very awkward and kind of twitchy.
I like that Sudi imagines himself as suave.
Yeah,
was
but
gonna
it's not really coming off.
Idris would shiver in the cool breeze and kind of give you a glance.
It's been a crazy couple of days, yes?
Yes.
I wanted to apologize. It was
Accepted. She would hug you tight.
She heard that you almost died.
I heard you almost drowned. They almost killed you.
I mean, it was
In
it
a
was,
box?
Okay, so yeah, maybe a sarcophagus did almost eat me.
I mean, Sagira mentioned that you punched your way out, which, I mean, is amazing, but...
I got you, boo.
As Sudi makes a note to high five his wingman.
And then he punched his fist straight through the solid stone.
I made it heroic.
You're not doing this because of what I said. I mean, I want to live together, and I know I'm the only one making money, but you didn't have to leave the temple.
No, it's actually... No, it's a personal thing for me. You know, I don't have a family.
Right.
But the only thing I really know is...
It's your family.
The voice of Sitra chimes in.
He did train you.
Can I finish my...
Okay.
Jeez.
We can't even...
The only thing that I know is I have you. And I have one lingering question for my old family, which is, where did I come from? And the only thing I have to tell me that is this. He pulls out the one stone that he keeps with him all the time that's got engraved writings on it. And that I came from a sphinx. And I'm hoping that I get to Ubet's Folly and I can speak to them and ask them, what's the stone? Who are my parents?
So,
And then I'll be done.
So it's not because of what I said.
No.
Because if you died out there because... we don't have to live together if it's moving too fast for you.
No, it's not that. I actually think going out and
Nearly dying?
acquiring items and nearly dying actually is working out well for building character and maturity for me. But this is just something I have to do. It's not because of you, it's because of me.
Take it from me. She would kind of tug at the edge of her necklaces, where you can see the scars around her neck. Where you come from doesn't decide who you are. She would lean forward, playfully licking you on the nose.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
During the player lab. You're cute.
So
She would give you a
suave.
purr, just...
I was gonna say, he returns to the same thing, licks her on the nose.
Furries love us.
For all of you guys out there.
It's so cute.
I'm assuming you're going to meet up with your friends?
I could be persuaded not to.
She would smile. Again, there's like pillows and comfortable, so dragging you over to that as we fade to black. And you know what? We'll leave this episode with a happy ending. So
Okay, that's probably the only time there's a happy ending, guys. So,
Stop
enjoy
using
it
those
while it
words.
lasts.
you can pick us up back here next time, Pathfinders. So thank you for tuning in.
Onuris has the plague.
We'll see if Onuris dies of the plague, if everyone gets drunk, and
Little party.
yeah, lucky Sudi gets lucky. So there we go. Bye, everyone. Goodbye.
He didn't even have to kiss the statue.
Yeah, right?
Might still help.